Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to Govberg, and thanks for logging on. Today we're looking at the Patek Philippe Calatrava reference 6000G-001. You can see this white gold automatic Patek Calatrava on our website, govbergwatches.com, and if you enjoy these videos, please download our app, Govberg On Time, for the latest news, views, reviews, and multimedia of luxury watches. On my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, this watch is very traditional in its size and proportions, but a bit avant-garde, a little bit postmodern in the design of its dial. Now, this watch debuted in 2005 at Baselworld. In 2008, it was redesigned, so the model that you see here, the -001, was only offered for the 2005, 6, and 7 model years. Across the round of the case, it is 37 millimeters, not including the crown. In terms of thickness, it is quite compact, only 9 millimeters thick, thanks to the micro-rotor automatic movement, and with a generously domed bezel, this is an easy watch to slip underneath a tight sleeve or dress cuff. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is likewise compact. 46.5 millimeters gives it good wrist presence without ruling out smaller wrists. Now, I would say you could probably wear this watch comfortably and with perfect sense of proportion and security down to 13, perhaps 13.5 centimeters in circumference. On the wrist, entirely white gold, it does have an impressive heft to it for its size. The watch has a full single-fold deployant buckle, likewise in white gold, so being a deployant, it has that extra measure of security. When you put the watch on, take it off, you're less likely to drop it. Plus, with extra gold, the deployant just adds more premium pull, more precious metal heft to the watch. It also has a wonderfully bolstered rectangular scale monotone stitch black alligator leather strap, and you can see there is a little bit of bolstering. It swells as it approaches the lugs for visual continuity, but it is nice and slim and supple on the underside as it approaches the bottom of the wrist. You can see there's a nice soft calfskin on the back, and a detail that I always appreciate from Patek Philippe, that the company does use pull-tab spring bars, so you can easily release either side of the strap without resorting to tools, without marring the lugs with your jeweler's screwdriver, or even having to resort to the use of a jeweler. A thoughtful and helpful touch that Patek includes on its watches. Now, in terms of case lines, this one has a strong drawn tension to it. It almost looks as though a piece of molten white gold were drawn and stretched out across the face of the dial, because these lugs really are quite strong and strident. Considering it's a formal watch, I would say that the lugs are easily the strongest and most prominent feature of the case. Now, you can also see that entirely in high polish, the watch has incredible wrist presence for its size. It really does shine like a little gem on the wrist. The dial is where this watch earns its love-hate reputation. The traditionalists tend to side with the haters. Those who are a little bit more avant-garde, who have more of a postmodern sensibility, will deeply appreciate the automotive dashboard instrument style dial. Now, some say it's busy. I think it's just nuanced and refreshingly different. The combination of the black, white, and red makes it a very sporty, almost mid-60s Paul Newman Daytona kind of aesthetic. I love that combination of colors on any kind of watch, especially one that has deep-seated personality and charm like this one. You can see there's a radial date splayed out around the outer circumference of the dial. You can see there's an hour track, and then inboard of that, there's a sector-style minute track. You'll also see the off-center sub-seconds. Now, where this watch differs from the 2008 redesign is in the composition of the dial, the minute track, and the sub-register. Now, in 2008, the watch went from the matte black that you see here to a sunburst anthracite, which had a heavy grain to it. It was a little bit more of a gloss look. Not quite gloss because it wasn't lacquered, but it had a brilliant reflective quality to it that's completely at odds with the matte finish seen here. Moreover, the minute track of that redesigned watch, as well as the sub-register, went to a sort of silver metallic finishing, and it really changed the entire character of the watch. This watch is both less common and perhaps a little bit visually more coherent, as though they got the design right the first time out. Now, on the case back, we have Patek Philippe's tried and true caliber 240 micro-rotor. Since the late 1970s, this has been the upscale automatic in the Patek family. In general, it's reserved for grand complications. In this case, however, the micro-rotor is being used in a conventional three-hand, one might say four-hand due to the date, but otherwise fairly conventional watch, and this is a very special refinement, as most of the automatic Calatrava models feature the 324 with center rotor. In this case, you can see the entire movement because the micro-rotor is sunk into the same planes as the bridges. Now, you can see the gorgeous Côte de Genève across the bridges right there. You can see it to good effect here, which have a deep and rich grain. Not all Geneva waves are created equal. You can also see the tight and even engine-turned perlage across the base plate. Now the watch does have approximately a 45-hour power reserve. It does feature a Gyromax free-sprung balance, so there's a little bit of shock-induced protection there, or rather I should say protection from shock-induced timing variation. Now there is a quick set function for the date, but it's a little bit unconventional in as much as it's operated by a case side pusher corrector. Now the watch does have the old Geneva Hallmark on it, not the Patek Philippe seal. That came online mid-2009. These models built from 2005 to 2007 all feature the more traditional stamp on the case. It's a 27 jewel movement and at 3.45 millimeters thick, it is quite slim, and it helps to lend this watch a wonderfully discreet profile on the wrist when viewed in profile. But in every other respect, this is a little giant with a ton of wrist presence for its size. This is one of the most memorable modern Patek Philippe Calatrava references to come out of Geneva. And the bottom line is that if you love this watch, if you hate it, there's no denying that this is a provocative timepiece and one of the most innovative modern Calatravas. You can see it and you can buy it on our website, govbergwatches.com.